All right, we now flash back to Monday night in a real NBA contest where the Phoenix Suns ended a grueling 5-game road trip with a come-from-behind win over the New York Knicks. Devin Booker led the Suns with 33 points. Mikal Bridges scored 21, and Chris Paul had 20, including 2 clutch shots late to seal the win, 118-110. Derrick Rose paced the Knicks with 22 off the bench, while Julius Randle and RJ Barrett failed to crack 40% from the floor. The Knicks took an early 15-point lead as they made a bid for their 10th straight win, but they were not able to do enough in the end. Drink, we've consistently been bearish on both of these teams come playoff time. Have recent events changed your mind on either?
I would say this. I trust Phoenix a little more down the stretch than I did before. However, this was the Knicks. This wasn't the Clippers. This wasn't the Lakers. This wasn't the Jazz. This was the Knicks. I can probably guarantee you're not going to see the Knicks in the postseason. I could probably guarantee that. Because if the Knicks are that good to come out of the East, I don't know if you're that good to come out of the West. That would be the only way you see them again in the postseason. So, but I would say this. What the Knicks did show me is they still play defense. They still a grimy, gritty team. I'm gonna give them that credit. But on the opposite side, I'm gonna say they showed me that they don't quite have enough offensively to get it done in those crunch time minutes. They have enough defense to get it done. I just don't feel like they have enough offense. And as good as Randle been playing this year, when he gets that ball in his hand, those last possessions be looking crazy. Like, so he be doing some crazy stuff. I'm not in love with his 1-minute drill basketball when he gets the ball last. He'll play a beautiful game, and then he gets to those last minutes, and it's, I don't know, travel calls, throwing it out of bounds, like just it's a little erratic at the end. So they definitely need to tighten that up. But as far as this game changing a direction for either team, I mean, all it tells me is Phoenix showed me that they are, a team to at least be watched. They say that you at least got to turn on your TV and watch them. They're at least a team that when you see them in the first round, you got to show some type of respect. This ain't the Charlotte Hornets rolling in. You know what I'm saying? This Phoenix Sun, you're gonna have to, show some respect to Chris Paul, to Devin Booker, to Mikal Bridges, to on and on. You got to show those guys some respect. We seen that. And the Knicks, for what it's worth, I know people saying it's just the Knicks, but the Knicks is probably the only team in the NBA that's top 4 in every major defensive category in the NBA. All right, so you can say it's just the Knicks all you want, but the Knicks are a really, really legitimate team on the defense side of the ball. They're not terrible on the offensive side. It just doesn't match, and they don't have enough that make you think this team is, we're really scared of this team in the 7-game series. So, but here's what I like. Here's what I like in the maturation of the Knicks. RJ Barrett. I wasn't sure if RJ Barrett was gonna be if he was gonna live out his draft pick. I wasn't sure after last year. I thought, this is looking a little shaky for the Knicks. Look like they didn't draft another pick that ain't gonna work out. I take that back. I like what I seen out of RJ Barrett this year. A guy that we don't talk about that they drafted really high this year, Obi Toppin. I don't know what his role is on this team, but whatever it is, it's working for him. It's working for the Knicks. He come in, he play his minutes, he gonna dunk on somebody, he gonna do something spectacular, then he's out, he back on the bench, he chilling. And it's not a lot of pressure. Because I hear all this pressure, I hear all these comments about the New York media. You don't want to go to New York media because they're gonna eat you alive and they're gonna do this. I don't see them saying a whole lot about Obi Toppin not really playing, all these minutes and being a high draft pick. So, for what it's worth, I do think Tom Thibodeau got this team in the right direction. So, I'm not mad, but I didn't see anything that really changed my mind on who they were or what they can do or what direction they're going. As far as the Suns, I got a little more respect for the Suns. I'm not even going to lie. At what point do we say somebody from the Suns should be seriously considered for the MVP conversation? Whether that's Chris Paul or Devin Booker, however you want to put it. But last time I checked, when you got a team that was second to last in the Western Conference last year, this year they got the second best record in the NBA overall. Somebody got to be getting some recognition now. This ain't the '04 Pistons over here. Like, it got to be somebody that stand out on that team. Is it Chris Paul? Is it Devin Booker? And I'm not saying, they should be top 3 in the MVP conversation, but I mean, my God, we should be talking about somebody over there. Like, this is a remarkable turnaround by the Phoenix Suns. We do understand how remarkable this is, right? So, with that said, like, Chris Paul should be getting some love, or Devin Booker. One of them should be getting more love in the MVP conversation. We giving Embiid love, and Philadelphia wasn't the second to last, team in the East last year. They was a playoff team. But now Embiid doing what we think he should be doing. So he's getting the recognition for that. Jokic, what Denver was? What you say? Denver, Western Conference last year, Western Conference Finals. Yeah, that was them. Game 6. Yeah, that was them. So my point is, I think they should get they should be getting a little more credibility for what it is that they're doing. So all in all, I do like Phoenix a little more. I trust them a little more in late game situations. I do trust Chris Paul more. I think he got a handle on this team a lot more than I actually thought. I thought at first we was kind of shining it on, giving him more credit than he really was worth. But I got to give him his due. He got this team with their head on their shoulders. Monty Williams got this team playing some fantastic ball. I like what I see with the Suns. But to truly answer your question, we got to see what they're going to do in the first round. That's where we'll be able to answer, is the Phoenix Suns for real or not. But as of right now in the season, yes, they impressed me. I think I like them more and more as I watch them play. And the Knicks, they was just the Knicks. So, that was my takeaway from that game.
I don't think my mind has changed one way or the other on either team. Both teams are about who I think they are. I think the Knicks they're going to make the playoffs. They'll give someone a real good fight in the first round. I don't think I can see them winning a first round series, but what they've done is this recent hot streak, this 9-game streak that got snapped on Monday night. They've given themselves a chance at that 4-5 hole, or that 4-5 first round matchup. And we know how important that is, because if you fall 6, 7, or 8, you get your pick of Milwaukee, Philly, or Brooklyn. And that's not going to be fun. That's not going to be fun for you. So they'll have a chance if they can, stay in the 4 or 5 range. But in the end, I thought you made some really great points both ways. And the Knicks, we talked about how much we like them defensively. There's been a couple of Knicks games where they've been kind of anomalies. They were not very good on defense last night, especially after after they built that pretty big lead early. Phoenix chipped away at them. Then they got pretty hot from 3 as time went on. And they just, their late game offense when they have to close games. I mean, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, the Knicks feel like they're one piece away. And I think one all-star or one guy who can make a shot for you at the end. I don't think Barrett's not quite that guy yet. And Julius Randle, from a front court perspective, he looks like a guy who can carry you throughout the game. But you'd probably like to have a perimeter-oriented guy who can, get you over the finish line with that last shot. I don't know if Julius Randle is quite what you want, in the final second, quote unquote, last shot. Phoenix is good, but I still don't believe in them. Come playoff time, they'll be in the 2 hole as it looks like right now. They'll have Portland. I think they beat Portland. But we never know. Yusuf Nurkic might play, and that might be all the difference in the world. Let me tell you what.
Zach Collins.
Zach Collins and Carmelo Anthony with his hoodie and all that. But I look at this last night, and Chris Paul made a couple of miracle shots last night to close that game. This one shot where Julius Randle has him on lockdown at around the free throw line, and he just goes up. He doesn't even have the ball yet, and he just throws it up there.
Yeah.
That's that's just one of those examples. Like that's not winning playoff series. I'm sorry. That's what you need to get it done. Nothing but respect for it. This guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest point guards we've ever seen. But that's not getting it done. But you do make some, like I said, you had good points on the Knicks and the Suns. The point about the Suns and the MVP conversation, somebody should probably be talking about somebody. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Chris Paul, because it's been the addition of Chris Paul that has been probably the biggest factor of them, being on this type of ascent. So you want to give Chris Paul some votes, sure, fine. But in the end, he's not winning the award. Just like, it was the same thing in Oklahoma City last year when Chris Paul, he's going to be an MVP conversation. Look what he did with this Oklahoma City team. All valid points, but then you pull up the stat sheet and they're like, 16 points and 6 assists. That ain't quite going to get it. It's just not enough. But I tell you one thing, I think, you want to give somebody an award on Phoenix. I think, and there's a lot of really good candidates for Coach of the Year, but when you break it down like that, give Monty Williams Coach of the Year. You talk about getting a team from whatever bottom of the barrel they were before the bubble last year, and now they're at this position, 43-18, like a 70% winning percentage. And I look at them last night, and I'm looking at this bench because we know, no Jay Crowder, no Dario Saric. Frank Kaminsky and Cameron Payne and Javon Carter. That's the bench you're bringing. No disrespect, but I don't want nothing to do with that bench. Cameron Payne, the last Cameron Payne highlight I saw when he was Oklahoma City and him and Russell Westbrook was doing handshakes before the game and dancing. That's the only Cameron Payne highlight I have recollection of. But he's out there last night and doing something. Javon Carter, by the way, that is the oldest looking dude. This guy was a freshman in college at West Virginia, and he looked like a 32-year-old dude. And he about 38. He about 38 now.
Got to be more careful.
in the end, it doesn't change my outlook on these teams. Really, I think they are who they are, but both teams have no question overachieved. Both head coaches should be really proud of what they've done. And either way, both teams will be a force to be reckoned with come playoff time. But I do think the Knicks are going home in the first round. And I think Phoenix is out of there in the second round. I do believe.